What? Hello again and welcome back to Mr. Larrie's Craft Show. As you may have learned from this channel already, there are often many ways to achieve a single goal in crafting. The materials, methods, and manner in which you work may change as you seek better or different results. Maybe the paint you used was too gloopy, or maybe the lead you bought wasn't actually lead. Or maybe you realized after some time that the lighting in your crafty little corner was just not optimal for your rich, decadent, dark, beautiful complexion. Whatever the reason, you decide to venture back into your craft closet to take another crack at a catastrophic creation. Rest assured and know that this is totally part of the process. Try it once, try it again, succeed, fail, succeed again. Think of how much you learn each time you try. In today's video, we will revisit a project that we looked at way back in series 1 of this show, which really was only like 8 months ago, but y'all, this year! Our faux stained glass project is something that I still cherish to this day, and it is the highest viewed video on my channel. So revisiting this project just feels kind of natural, especially because I've wanted to make a companion piece for that panel since we made the first one. We'll be using some new materials today that seem really promising, but more on that in a moment. First, let's dive into 3 things that'll help us with our project today. Excluding that pencil, apparently. Oh, God, I'm old. Starting with thing number 1. If you watched my first attempt at this project, you got a glimpse into the history of stained glass and how it's made. Various specific metallic oxides are added to glass during the glass making process, which results in a beautiful array of dazzling colors. Fragments of the colored glass are held together with the help of thin lines of metal leading, which are fused together through a process called soldering. Some of the most brilliant works of art in existence carry that simple craft concept to extraordinary heights, and throughout history they have been produced in an attempt to represent some of the most culturally impactful ideas we know. This means you commonly see stained glass at its most impressive being used in places of worship. And that brings us to thing number 2. Mr. Larrie, what about those Tiffany lamps or my aunt's door in our apartment in Boca? Modern times brought about a new appreciation for stained glass, especially when it became affordable to the masses. The 20th century saw an incredible response to the works of modern-day stained glass artists. I credit any knowledge I have about antique glass to my ongoing obsession with Antiques Roadshow and to the incomparable Andy McConnell, who's been on the show since 2005 appraising glass and sharing his absolute passion about it with everyone. And if you've never woken up to the voice of Fiona Bruce, oh, you're missing out. In my last video, we discussed how this new appreciation led to the craftification of this stained glass craft, which meant there were now products like gallery glass, which we used last time, and other paints, plastics, and plexis, all of which could be used at a fraction of the cost, weight, and effort of the real thing. Today, we'll check out a new set of materials that I discovered via the interwebnet, which brings us to thing number 3. Today's project will use a pane of glass very similar to the last one that I used. In fact, it's the same brand and I bought it literally on the same day because I really like that it looks sort of, glass is stronger than you think. I really like that it is unique and looks kind of eccentric, and I think that it will make a wonderful surface for some geometric shapes and colored glass. This will be going in a small space in my apartment, so the dimensions are perfect. I will be pairing this pane of glass with a product called Pebeo Vitrail. I think it's Vitrail, and this is the product. It has a transparent finish, it's very glossy, and it'll settle out itself on a flat surface, so it makes it ideal for working on glass. And instead of faux lining, this time we'll be using real lead lining that is self-adhesive and can be trimmed both width and in length if you want a thinner line than what it provides. So I think that this finished product is going to look even more like real stained glass than our first one did. So let me gather all of our materials and let's get started. I'll start by cleaning and degreasing my glass and then sketching a design to follow for my lead placement, along with some loose ideas on how I might arrange the colors. You all know that I'm a fan of geometric pieces, and I always love a good rainbow-like range of color. I want this piece to feel kindred with the previous one, so I have it nearby for inspiration. Once our design is prepared, I will begin removing the paper backing and placing the lead lining onto my glass, and I'll trim it as I go with an X-Acto knife. For slimmer line work, this lead can be trimmed in half. The plastic stick that came with the lead can be used to press it firmly to the glass and to smooth joint areas together. This lead is soft enough to mold, so you can really get your overlapping pieces to look neat if you try. Once our lead is in place, I will prepare my paints. Some of these I will attempt to use straight out of the bottle, but I intend to mix several colors as well. I've been running a few tests and I think I have a good grasp on which mixes work for this project. I'll be using a medium-sized angle brush, but you can use a flat brush, a filbert, whatever works best for you, and I'll begin filling the cells made by the lead. I'm applying this the way that I might use watercolor, as a flat wash. I'm loading the brush with paint, pressing as much of the product into the top or side of the panel without overlapping or slipping under the lead, and then I gently pull the product down to cover the full space, using slight pressure to spread the brush out as I pull. The fewer strokes used, the more neat your final result may be. I will continue working cell by cell, and I'll try to make adjustments or corrections as quickly as possible along the way. Just relax and think of this as painting by numbers. The project should be allowed to cure for at least 24 hours before you handle it or make use of it, but the wait is worth it. You can display your hard work in the window and invite in the sun, or transform a particularly dull lamp with a shiny new friend. How you brighten up your day is up to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm always excited to revisit a project, especially when we learn that we can improve upon them. And today we produced a beautiful signature piece of dazzling glass right in the comfort of our pajama bottoms in just an afternoon. Part of getting to that confident, impressive, oh my God, you made that status is really just trying and trying again and practicing your craft. It's all about being willing to revisit your methods and learn from your mistakes. And of course, utilizing some trusted and solicited feedback. And lastly, I'd like to send a big thank you to everyone who contributed to my first ever Kickstarter campaign. You all blew it through the roof, and I cannot thank you enough. I feel all of the love, and I'll be sending it right back to you all starting in the next couple of weeks with the rewards that you were promised. And I'm so excited to just send out all the goodies and to share the rest of Series 3 of Mr. Larrie's Craft Show with you. So thank you so much for your support and of course for watching today. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and come back and see me next Friday for an all new episode and a new project. See you soon, stay safe, and stay crafty.